The casino is a place in which people go in hopes to win big. The downside is that as they are owned by very rich people, this is likely to not be the case. However, there is a man who beat the casino system. Well, roulette specifically. You see, roulette isn't as random as most people may think. Rotating in a circle with numbers 0 to 36, a ball is spun around the edges, called a ball track, where it will hit a ball deflector and then bounce around the numbers, eventually landing on one. However, it can be possible to get a good idea of which section the ball lands in by measuring the speed of the ball and the rotation of the wheel. This is the assumed technique that Croatian Niko Toza used in order to beat the roulette wheel and become the world's most successful roulette player. You would think that beating the casino and being known as the world's most successful roulette player would have you on the front of every newspaper and be shot to fame, so you may be surprised by not knowing who Niko Toza is. Well, you are not alone, as he has never given an interview or appeared in any book, magazine or newspaper until a few days ago. Before you hear what he has to say, let's follow his story. In 2004, Toza walked into the Ritz Club Casino with two accomplices. He looked through the roulette tables, scouting one he was previously successful on. He finally settled onto a roulette table and followed his same routine on each spin, waiting until the ball was in motion and then placing a bet last minute, usually on multiple numbers at a time. The reason for this was that Toza thought he could predict the area in which the ball would land on based on the rotation of the wheel and where the dealer placed the ball before spinning. That night, the trio took home a staggering $1.6 million, equivalent to around £1.3 million for those British people listening, after only starting out with a few £1,000s. The following night, Toza and his partners returned to the Ritz, but this time the police were waiting for them. They arrested them on suspicion of deception. The police searched the trio and their hotel room but found nothing suspicious. The only bizarre find was discovered in a hotel room, which was the map of the casinos in the local area, marked with a cryptic symbol such as pulses and minuses. The police started an investigation and seized the cash that they had won and their personal devices. Investigators also tore the roulette table apart, searching for any hidden devices, but to their surprise, they found nothing. They also intensely interrogated the dealer who was on the roulette table that night, but came up empty-handed. The police investigation lasted 9 months, to which the police dropped the case and returned the winnings to Toza and his partners. Has one man beaten the roulette system, or was this just a cheat and a fluke? Nobody was able to provide the answer to this. After his big win, Toza kept a low profile. I guess winning over 1 million in a casino overnight would likely draw some eyes to you. He never took any interviews, and neither did his accomplices. Instead, he was spotted numerous times, but in different disguises. One time, he was spotted at a Romanian casino in 2010 by a security camera. Weirdly, he was also spotted in London trying to get into a club with an unconvincing grey wig, and then again in Poland, and then in Slovakia. He was also spotted in 2013 by the owner of a casino when he won around $57,000 playing roulette. There's no doubt he was using a range of different fake IDs to get around places, as casinos not far from London were known to break a suspected cheater's fingers, so he was obviously being very careful. After many years, Toza eventually did an interview. Being hard to track down for obvious reasons, he surprisingly said that Toza isn't his real name. He admitted to using fake identification and wigs to get into casinos, and also strangely referred to his partners as criminals, although he did fall out with one of them over money. He was adamant that he has never used a roulette computer, but when asked how he did it, he said it was just practice. He then began to show the reporter a video clip of a roulette wheel he kept in his house in order to train his brain. He then emphasised how the condition of the wheel is important and why he made sure to seek out a particular table at the Ritz that night, that he had played enough times at that wheel to know he could beat it. His system relied on placing bets near a certain number as the defect of the wheel reduced its randomness of the outcome, and then predicting with enough accuracy to beat the house's edge. You don't need to win every time, just enough to beat the edge the house has. Tozer also probably went to a lot of casinos after that win, as in the interview he said he has been beaten up more than a few times by casino thugs. When asked if he thought he was being hunted, he said that he was actually the hunter and the casinos were the prey. From this and the energy that comes across the table, the reporter said he shared traits that has been seen in many professional gamblers: the aversion to a standard life and the need to live life on your own terms, whatever the risk may be. What sets Tozer apart is his willingness to bet big, even with a high amount of risk of either losing, being caught, or being accused of being a cheater. Perhaps this is why he was so successful, or maybe a toxic trait of greed, as he did say that if he went back that night, he would have walked away with 10 million. He said his only regret was that he didn't win more. However, Tozer is not the first roulette mastermind to beat the house odds. In 1960, a young medical researcher from New Jersey, Dr. Richard Jarecki, won the modern day equivalent of $8 million at roulette tables across Europe after spending thousands of hours perfecting a system. Jarecki also relied upon finding roulette wheels with some defect that reduced the randomness. The young doctor would spend hours observing roulette wheels over thousands of spins, recording and analysing the data to see if any numbers come up more frequently than expected under random chance. As casinos caught on, Jarecki was quickly barred from a number of them for winning too much. Casinos also quickly adopted changes to roulette tables to reduce bias and increase randomness. After the 2004 incidents at the Ritz with Tozer, many casinos have also further improved their wheels, switching to scalloped pockets to increase the amount of time the ball spends bouncing chaotically. Casinos also made sure to upgrade and replace the equipment more frequently, as over time the ball can wear down the wheel, which is speculated how Tozer won so many times at the Ritz. Tozer changed the way roulette is played, however he said he is planning to come back to do an international trip. Will he be able to beat the casinos again? We will have to wait and see. Thank you all for watching.